I'm honestly surprised. They actually did it. There's going to be a playable Pokemon Sword and Shield demo at E3 this year, so we'll be breaking down what this means and what to expect when we get all of this information in just a few days. That's right, guys. Remember, E3 is going to start in less than 5 days from now, and we have a lot to talk about when it comes to all that goodness. So if you end up enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like, share this with all your friends, get them hyped for Pokemon, and use code Verlisify for 30% off your G Fuel order, because you're going to need it for E3. Order it now, keep the hype throughout the show, and it's just going to get crazier from there. So the news is coming from Nintendo of America. Don't miss your chance to play Luigi's Mansion 3, which, when you think about it, is probably a super hype announcement for a lot of people anyways, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and more for the first time at E3 2019. That talks about the date and time, June 11th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, followed by a Nintendo Treehouse Live throughout the show for more game info and the latest Nintendo news. Now, because we just had the Pokemon Direct, we are in a really weird situation that has actually happened before. I would be incredibly surprised if we got anything new about Pokemon during the actual Nintendo Direct that happens at 9 a.m. All of our information is going to come from the Nintendo Treehouse, where we have seen gameplay before, like the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo and the Pokemon Let's Go demo. The Let's Go demo being playable by fans, Pokemon Sun and Moon demo only being by Game Freak, and Pokemon Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire just being non-existent as demos. So this is what I'm talking about. Pokemon Direct 6.6. Remember, guys, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was actually announced inside of a Pokemon Direct, but it was mostly about Pokken Tournament DX. And the only thing we got from Game Freak was Ishihara, the CEO of Pokemon, coming out and saying, we're working on a main series Pokemon game. Bye. You know, they want it, like they say it might not come out for another year. It turned out to be Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let's Go had no hints whatsoever, so I feel like that's going to be what we're expecting right now. It's going to be, the Direct is covering Luigi's Mansion, maybe some new Mario Maker stuff, waiting on that Animal Crossing, and then talking about all the other games, but Pokemon Sword and Shield will still be playable at the event. That's because they need to get their Warp Pipe Pass set up. So I talked about this, and I was like, alright, we need to keep an eye on it, because when this becomes available, there's going to be either new games or new information that's going to happen with this. And that's kind of what we got, you know, Luigi's Mansion 3 being playable, so that's going to give information. That's going to be details. We're finally going to have something about Luigi's Mansion 3. Pokemon Sword and Shield just got the Direct. They even have a link to it. And then Link's Awakening, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I'm surprised there's not a Mario Maker 2 demo, unless it is a demo, but since they've already did the Direct and all these other things, like, the game's coming out at the end of the month anyways, they want to have some more show space and time for all the other things. And Animal Crossing is still a mystery, so I think that's going to be their big Direct reveal at some point when it comes to this. And they still have a lot of other games that they're working on, so that's the thing. And if you want to play Pokemon Sword and Shield at E3, reserve your spot today. It starts at, so you can't do it now. Like, I thought I missed a spot or anything, but no, it's like, it's not available because June 6th, 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. Pacific time, that is when it's happening. So that's kind of the news itself. But now, what are we expecting? What's going to happen with the Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct? And I feel like it's just going to be the wild area. You know, it seems like there's no more perfect of a place than to just drop someone in with Pokemon wandering around. Much like we had with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to like the Nintendo Treehouse gameplay and all those things. So the demo seems like it's just a great place. You know, if you want to explain Pokemon Let's Go, you put them in one of the most populated areas where you can kind of have access to all of the basic stuff. Do some trainer battles if you want to, catch yourself some Pokemon, throw the Joy-Con around, get some things like that. And there were some really interesting things that came from this E3 playthrough, that people were finding shiny Pokemon. So Overworld Shiny, I just gotta get rid of that. So yeah, Overworld Shinies in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I want to see it. I want proof. I want a report coming from E3 about that happening. That's going to be super amazing. That's going to be hype. But also other information, like Pokemon Let's Go gave us unique gameplay, gave us things that we've never seen before, but people were able to kind of figure out what's going on, candies, get little bits of information. And the thing is, the start menu was completely locked out at the demo, or for the demo when it comes to Pokemon Let's Go. So if they actually let you access the start menu, Maybe we can find out IVs of existing Pokemon, stat changes, stuff like that. Because one thing that has me really interested are going to be the raids. That when we have like these max raid battles, which are also doable solo player. So you can do local multiplayer, you can do Wi-Fi multiplayer, but also says on the website, 3 support trainers will help you if you can't get anyone together for it. So you can do these solo, which means they could be a solo experience inside the demo. And since it was such a big part, both Dynamax, the wild area, the raids, since it's all a big part, this has to be inside the demo. I'm wondering what the benefit is. Yes, some Pokemon that you can't otherwise obtain will be available through raids, but do they come with guaranteed IVs? Like, that'd be really awesome if a raid Pokemon had 5 guaranteed IVs. Seems like a lot of work to hatch an effective egg and not get a guaranteed competitive Pokemon, but there could be some kind of extra benefit that if someone catches it, they check out the stats, they check out the Pokemon really quick, we could learn something, maybe find some new items, maybe find some just new things that happen as a part of the standard gameplay just because it's the wild area. So it depends on what happens, you know, if they just rip the game straight up or if they kind of tweak things around, and then we just kind of look at the map of the Galar region. I see no more perfect place than just slap you in here and then have fun. But in the trailer, we see like fully evolved Pokemon. And in the gameplay screenshots on the website, we see some high-level Pokemon running around as well. So what stage of the game is this going to be? We see all kinds of different Pokemon. Evolved, not fully evolved. So is that actually like what you have to explore? It's like over here there's level 20s. You go a little further, there's like level 50s and you're just going to get slapped. So maybe the demo area will just, like, this is why I've been speculating since we first saw the map. You know, when we first saw the map, it's like, you know what's going to be great for a demo? They just give you this little pond area. You run around, you bike. They also showed off Rotom, and Rotom has its own feature as, like, the Rotom Dex or the Rotom iPhone thing on the Pokemon website. So you can bike around, you can swim around, or you can, like, use your bike to surf around and stuff. And then you catch a few Pokemon, you have a good old time. Maybe there's a raid battle set up for you, and then that's going to be the demo. So then maybe you won't be able to go and explore all of this, but it's going to give you enough gameplay to where you understand. And that brings me to another thing, is that when you look at this, it's all, there's like no new Generation 8 Pokemon. Now, they could have removed those for the trailer and set that up, because even in the first Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer, there weren't overworld Pokemon, but overworld Pokemon are a main part of the game, which is actually pretty awesome. So maybe there's not Generation 8 Pokemon, or maybe this is where you catch most of the non-Generation 8 Pokemon, and then you look at the rest of the region. We got ice, we got mountains, we got forests, we got caves, we just have standard routes, we have grassy areas. So, I mean, you know, this cuts off the wild area. There's still grass over here. There's surfing areas, there's little forests. So maybe, you know, this is where all the existing Pokemon are. Kind of like the Friend Safari without the friend gating. But, you know, you can just find fully evolved Pokemon, crazy Pokemon, rare Pokemon from previous generations, and then the rest of the region is just going to be loaded with only new Pokemon, so maybe it's actually just safe to throw someone here and just let them freely explore, because they're not going to find anything new or anything that won't already be revealed, which brings us to the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo. The Pokemon Sun and Moon demo wasn't playable, which is why I was surprised. You know, we didn't get to play Oras at E3. We didn't get to play Pokemon Sun and Moon at E3, not even at PAX or other gaming conventions. So I was wondering if they were going to be that conservative or that, you know, just kind of protective of Pokemon Sword and Shield at E3. So I was surprised to hear that they had a demo, but this was different. This isn't a playable demo. This is not your demo that you got. In October, when we had our Pokemon Sun and Moon demo, that's a Howley City mini quest, just kind of run around, have a good time. This is the actual game. This is like a beta of Pokemon Sun and Moon, because they're like, oh, we hope something doesn't break while we do live gameplay. And then they pretty much did some things, explored some new Pokemon. And the first Pokemon was Ladybug, which was super hyped, because like, oh, we're going to see our first Generation 7 Pokemon. No, it's just a Ladybug. So I feel like this is also something that's on the table. Whoops, I gotta stop doing that. Gotta stop double clicking the gameplay. So this is something I think is on the table, that Nintendo Treehouse could be the first part of the game. That the Nintendo Treehouse could show us new Pokemon in a very specific way in very specific areas, and then there's going to be more Nintendo Treehouses, kind of like what they did with Breath of the Wild when they had that being like the big thing of 2016, because it was just non-stop gameplay. They would just bring up 3 people that like worked for Nintendo or worked for other gaming companies, like, hey, go run around the Great Plateau for a while. So if they do that with Pokemon Sword and Shield, you know, there could be some Game Freak or Nintendo Treehouse gameplay when they're actually playing in the wild area, and there could also just be some very specific first gym kind of stuff, because that's what this trailer had. This trailer also had the first gym, the first areas, and if we look at the map, it makes sense. So I'm guessing the, routes 1 and 2, super free. You just kind of do your thing there. You learn about the story, you get out, and then the game really opens up. And then this is going to be the first gym. And if this is the first gym, then that means that could be the gameplay that they focus on. We find 1 or 2 new Pokemon here, go to the gym, that's going to be all the big reveals, and then the rest of the demos, there's nothing new here. They're just going to show it off and then let people fully explore the wild area, which kind of creates like this crazy thing. But then it gets even crazier, because the new Pokemon that were revealed here got their own trailer after E3. So then June 14th, meet new Pokemon, discover battle royals in Pokemon Sun and Moon. So we got to see 3 new Pokemon during this playthrough: Pikipek, Grubbin, and Yungoos. And we got Pikipek, Grubbin, Yungoos, Magearna play as well. Now, we already knew Magearna existed, so this wasn't like a new Pokemon reveal. I don't think there's anything like that in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's not like they teased a new evolution and then didn't say anything about it, and then we get to see gameplay of it. So that's going to be missing. And then other gameplay feature thing that didn't really matter. So maybe they'll talk about online battles, or maybe they'll like feature something a little extra, and that could get kind of fancy, right? Because that also goes back to the Pokemon Let's Go demo, because they showed off the Pokemon Go Park. So they did actually give us, outside of the demo, they went into an actual copy of Pokemon Let's Go, and then they played in the Pokemon Go Park to show off one of these gameplay features. So they've done battles in the past. They've done this for all kinds of other gaming conventions, all kinds of other news when it comes to Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, maybe ORAS. I don't think they actually went that way, out of their way for us, but we've seen this happen in the past. And then one of the trailers was also Mega Evolution's online battles when it came to Pokemon Let's Go. So I'm wondering if that's also information we can expect from the demo that's happening with Pokemon Sword and Shield. That we get that little bit of extra on top of it, and then the new Pokemon get their own trailer, and then that's going to happen with the E3 demonstration and stuff like that. Okay, wait, never mind. The E3 started on June 14th when it came to 2016. I thought it was like the 11th or 12th, and then we got the trailer. So, I mean, later that day. So, I mean, we can expect another trailer about Pokemon on the 11th or 12th, depending on like when they reveal this information. Then we have another trailer at the end of June, and then we're just in Pokemon Sun and Moon hype reveal season, and then we get to see tons of gameplay, and things are gonna be awesome from there. So here, guys, tons of features that just kept being shown when it came to Pokemon Sword and Shield, or not Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, and that's gonna be things, It was cool to see this confirmed. I mean, they don't need to confirm. They don't need to be like, oh, by the way, trainer customization, because we've already seen that in the trailers at this point. Same with Mega Evolutions. Now it's just like answering questions. Do Mega Evolutions return, or is it all Dynamax? Do Z moves return, or is it all Dynamax? Are they going to give us some kind of other things? Are they going to give us teases? Because that was something, Pokemon Sun and Moon left a lot of mystery. That is a popular misconception. There was no mystery in Pokemon Sun and Moon when we had a gallery that was, what's that? Turned out to be Trials, something completely new. What's that? Turned out to be Z-Move, something completely new. What's that? Pokéride, turned out to be something completely new. And then they just kept giving us more information on top of it. So they can reveal a lot and still not reveal a lot. I'm hoping that we can see that happen a little bit with E3. Worst case scenario, it's just the overworld, but like we learned with Pokemon Let's Go, or not the overworld, it's just the wild area. But like we learned with Pokemon Let's Go, still get tons of information out of just a demo that doesn't really try to give us a lot of information. We're going to see what Game Freak is up to, but I'm not expecting anything from Direct. I'm expecting it all to be demo, and then special gameplay about the first gym that intentionally reveals new Pokemon in some kind of way. And then we get a trailer about it. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.